thinking, Davey, that this is almost like opening Christmas presents. You never know what you're going to get. Hello again, everybody. We're ready to open up another championship wrestling. Lance Russell with Dave Brown right along ringside, and boy, we have got another one of those days ahead of us, I'm sure.
Got quite a package to begin with here. The Region Bull, Manny Fernandez, in here in the opening match as a single today. We'll have Jeff Jarrett teamed with the Nasty Boys. They'll be on one side of the ring in a six-man tag team match. Jimmy Jack Funk will be here a little bit later on. We'll also be looking at Hector Guerrero. The Midnight Rockers will be in, too. All of that coming up later today.
Oh, yeah. We got a couple of other things, too. We're always getting comments and conversation about wrestling schools in the area. We'll be talking about one today. In addition to that, coming up during the next week, there will be a special battle royal, and I know that you remember this. Some of the folks may not remember. We had one other that I recall where the wrestlers weigh in and they pay an admission fee on $1 per pound
I
basis.
remember that, yeah.
Well, we got a lot of them here for our television broadcast, so they will be weighed during sometime we'll be picking up different weights and all of that. What happens is they pay $1 per pound, then the promotion matches the total number of dollars that they put in. So that one prize coming up, the guess is that it's around 8,000, 8,300, some 7,950, somewhere in there is what the guess is. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what it's going to be. We're going to be having that and lots more. Can't do it unless we get into it. We'll take time out. Be back in a moment. That bell signifies we are not far away from the opener, and boy, it ought to be a dandy because the Raging Bull is going to be in here, and that means trouble anyway you look at it. You're right. Here he comes.
Sounds of a bamba.
Okay, Mr. Class in there against Manny Fernandez, and that is not good news for Mr. Class, because I will tell you one thing. He is in there with one of the roughest son of a guns you will ever see anywhere, anytime.
Boy, he is indeed. Fernandez out of Texas, weighs in about 250 pounds, and I tell you, he knows how to put it to use, and it uses the right fist, for instance, as he did just there.
Oh, that upper arm absolutely peeled his head right off. I mean to tell you, that son of a gun nailed him with a chop there, Dave. Manny, formerly one half of the World Tag Team Champions, and he is not in a happy mood. Fernandez is just attacking this guy viciously. He's going after him, whips him across the ring from the slingshot. Again, there's that big upper arm and just cuts the legs right out from under him. Puts him down as referee Jerry Calhoun watching to see about the use of the fist and on the ropes. But Fernandez with a headbutt pops him up there, and it has been all Manny Fernandez in this opening match on Championship Wrestling.
Boy, it still is. A minute 20 seconds gone, and he's just doing it any way he wants to. Ooh.
Man, oh, man. Manny Fernandez. No stopping the steamroller, and he really cut him to pieces. What was the time, Dave?
1 minute, 29 seconds.
Listen, let's go to the back and see if we have our first weighing back there. We're supposed to... Oh, okay. Well, we'll wait just a second then. We as yet have not picked up the picture of anybody weighing in, but we're going to be doing that throughout Championship Wrestling program today. Manny Fernandez, a quick win in there today.
You know something, Lance? Something that irrates me more than anything in the world is Jerry Lawler's running around here thinking he is the CWA champion. First of all, you put a punk to do a man's job. And Jeff Jarrett. He's nothing but a boy.
Manny, I don't want to interrupt you and get you irritated, but I want to tell you we've got our first live weigh-in for the $1 per pound battle royal coming up. And Stan, let's see who that is.
Talking about a couple pennies per pound. That's just a little penny.
Jeff Jarrett is weighing. Speaking of Jeff, here he is weighing in. He was supposed to be weighing in, and there he is. He'll be...
What do you weigh, 2.5 pounds?
Okay, you're bigger than he is. So he's going to be paying $1 a pound. Has just weighed in back there now.
That's great, you know. When you gotta have to pay 2.5 pounds compared to 200-something pounds, I guarantee you there ain't gonna be much left of you in this battle royal. Because I told you, when you don't send a man to do a boy's job, you get in a lot of trouble. And Jeff Jarrett is a little boy, and he thinks he's coming up in the professional world. Well, I promise you, when I get through with the Jeff Jarretts, the Jerry Lawlers, the Bill Dundees, you're going to realize that the wrath of the bull has just begun. Because, baby, when it's over, said and done, I will be the CWA heavyweight champion. I will take over this area, and I will run everybody else out. Because you know why? Because nobody can deal with a bull. And that is risky business.
Well, there it is from Manny Fernandez. A little comment that pretty well covers it all up. Let's take time out. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, Wednesday night, take advantage of all of it. Son of a gun. I'm talking about championship wrestling right there at the Coliseum in Evansville coming up Wednesday night with special Christmas prices. $5 and $3, and not for just a skimpy card, friend. I mean for a real knockdown, drag-out, action-packed one. We're featuring a big $1 per pound battle royal. That means that each guy pays $1 per pound to get into it. The promotion matches it. It comes out in Evansville at $8,130 to the guy that wins the battle royal. Now, in addition to that, Jeff Jarrett will be going against Manny Fernandez. Many, many more. Somebody that's got some comments, and you'll be interested maybe in them. Let's listen to Mark Goulin.
Let me tell you something, Bill Dundee. You egomaniac. You think that you're a superstar, and you claim to be a legend in your own time, but you have made a fatal mistake when you crossed the house of Goulin. Tijo Khan will meet you in the ring anytime, any place, anywhere, and you will pay with much pain and suffering. No one will recognize you when the mighty Khan is finished with you.
Oh, yeah, superstar Bill Dundee, Tijo Khan, another of the great bouts that are going to be on there. Remember, $5 and $3, Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. What a night of championship wrestling action it'll be. Hope you're going to be right there with us. And that music tells us it's time for a young fella that had himself quite a go. Jeff Jarrett coming out here now, and I can't do anything but have great admiration. Jeff, how you doing? We're delighted to see you out here. You're looking good and looking happy.
I appreciate Lance being out here today, and you know, I've done a lot of thinking over the past week, and what a night of wrestling that was.
Whoa.
I tell you what, I had 2 matches in one night. I got beat in both matches, but I still feel good about it, Lance. A lot of people are probably asking why, but I'll tell you why, Lance. I feel like in one night I wrestled the 2 best wrestlers in the world. One in Jerry Lawler. I believe the match went about 20 minutes or so, and the other was against the world champion, the AWA world champion, Kurt Hennig. And I tell you what, that was a long, hard-fought battle, and I still feel good about both matches, even though I did get beat. But I guarantee you, I'll remember that night the rest of my life.
I got to tell you, a lot of people will, too. You attracted a lot of attention because both of the matches in there, you were in it all the way until the 1, 2, 3. How do you compare the two? I mean, that's interesting because you had the opportunity to go against Lawler and immediately go against Kurt Hennig. How do you compare these two?
Well, a few other people have asked me that same question. You know, they were 2 completely different type matches. The one against Jerry Lawler, we'd been the partners the very week before, and I know one thing. A lot of people have asked me, who's the tougher of the 2? All I can say is Jerry Lawler beat me fair and square. And the so-called AWA World Heavyweight Champion had some outside help. So I believe that answers your question right there.
Well, that tells us what. I'll tell you one thing, Jeff. I admired the fact in the Lawler match, and it showed me, and I think we said it on the commentary whenever we were doing a particular match, that in looking back on it, you came of age. Boy, Lawler popped you one, and you came right back.
That's right. Just like the King even always says, you got to fight fire with fire, and I felt that's what I had to do in that match. But now this week, I couldn't be happy with my opponent. It's Manny Fernandez. Now, boy, you're out here ranting and raving and talking about riding the bull. Well, there's no other person I'd like to face this week, and that's you, Manny Fernandez. You know, in this match coming up, I'm going to be looking forward to doing one thing, and that's pinning your shoulders to the mat. To not only to prove to myself and to you, Bull, but to these people that I did deserve that world title shot, and I'm looking forward to it, Lance.
Okay, good luck to you, Jeff. I'll tell you one thing, friend. You haven't had any easy road. We're going to see Jeff in action, Dave, as we got a six-man coming up, right?
Yes, we do. Jeff's going to be a team of Brian Knobs and Jerry Sag. There they come, the Nasty Boys. That's some kind of team right there. On the other side of the ring, here they come. That's Nate the Rat, you see right there, Nathaniel Whitlock. He's bringing his Executioners team up here, and they're going to be partnered with Keith Robertson. Keith out of Memphis, Tennessee. Executioners out of parts unknown. Nasty Boys. Brian Knobs getting the crowd chanting, nasty, nasty. They're out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Jeff Jarrett from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Got a ring full of them here for this one-fall, 10-minute time limit match.
Yeah, we do. Kind of an interesting pairing with the Nasties and Jeff Jarrett over there. Two big guys in the Nasty Boys, and Jeff starting out, he is the smallest of the three guys in there, but he's a lot bigger, I'll tell you, after those matches with Lawler and Henning that he had in everybody's eyes that watches wrestling. Executioner number 1 is starting out, and his partner and Keith Robertson over on the side with Nate the Rat walking around with his walking stick. And that's not to help him stroll down the street either, I got a feeling, Dave.
I think you're right. I think better keep an eye on that walking stick as the match progresses here. Brian Knobs in after the tag. Executioner number 1 finds himself flying into the rope. Whoa, Jerry Sag steps in, and a little double up by the Nasty Boys. I'm not sure they tagged, but it's Jerry Sag staying in there.
Sags and Knob, the Nasty Boys, these are a couple of guys that they're not always that particular about making tags or anything else. They just kind of go in there to get the job done one way or the other. Big backdrop from Jeff on the Executioner number 1. He better seriously consider making his way to the corner, my friend.
He definitely needs a tag. Yeah, we've had Jeff, Brian Knobs, Jerry Sag, and now Jeff back in there again. And on the other side of the ring, it's been Executioner number 1 all the way, and that's almost 2 minutes gone in the match.
That is, at least from our observation over here, is not good managing of your team or your strategy, either one. Leapfrog. Hooks that arm with a rolling arm lock, takes him over and pops him down on the mat.
Tag made by Jeff. Brian Knobs coming back in. Ooh. Double upper arm. Brian Knobs has the Executioner in the air. He slams him.
Look at this.
Tag drops down and covers. Might be it. No, count of 2 is all he got. I thought he had him right there.
Boy, he sure looked like he had him in there. I felt certain that I think he must be a little addled because he definitely, there he is back in the corner and makes the tag. I was going to say he definitely should have gone for that tag quicker than he did, but he got the tag, and the other Executioner, number 2, is in there now. Keith Robertson has not been in. Good move, Jeff.
Robertson, everybody on this side of the ring is in there. Here come the Nasty Boys. That's going to even it up.
Didn't take them long to get the clue. Look at that nod. Slams down. The Executioner number 1, Robertson, whipped into the rope. Double clothesline off. Nice drop kick. And Jeff makes the cover. 2, 3.
Great move by Jeff Jarrett. 3 minutes, 31 seconds, and Robertson had the shoulders pinned by Jeff Jarrett.
Very very good win for Jeff and the Nasty Boys, and they brought a victory out of some turmoil that took place in there. I really thought we were going to have it stop before we ever got to the conclusion of that doggone thing, David. We've got other big action coming up. Some interesting news and videotapes. Take time out. Be back to it. Remember, I told you, special Christmas prices, just $5 and $3 for an admission to a whale of a night of action. Nightmare #1 will be going against Billy Travis. Bruise Brothers will be facing the Rock and Roll RPMs. Boy, that'll be a scrap and a half with the newcomers going against the old vets, the RPMs. Nasty Boys going against King Carl Fergie and Hector Guerrero. Big Scott Hall will be in to face the Black Panther. Bill's Superstar Dundee, T. Joe Khan. No love lost in that son of a gun. And it's going to be a grudge match with Jeff Jarrett having to go against the rough and tough street fighter Manny Fernandez. Finally, $1 per pound battle royal. Yeah, each of the guys have paid $1 per pound. The promotion matched it. $8,130 goes to the winner. Whole lot of scrapping going on for that Christmas bonus. See you Wednesday night. These guys just had a very successful match in there in the six-man. Talking about Brian Knobs, Jerry Stagg, and I got to tell you, they've been coming on strong. The Nasty Boys, man, I'll tell you, you guys had a chance to go against the Midnight Rockers in a challenge, and I have said it was a super match. I think you surprised them. They didn't think you're going to be that tough.
Yeah, I think we did too. Friendship goes a long way. We know for 3 years. We fought together in bars. We partied together, right? But now, after this happened, me and Stagg look back. They've been taking advantage of us for a long time. They've been riding with us. They sleep while we drive. We paid for the drinks, all kinds of stuff. They've been taking advantage of us long before that match, and it finally hit us, you know, after that match.
Let me interrupt you just a second, Brian. I've been told, Jerry, that we got a weigh-in back here. We're weighing in, as you guys know, on the $1 per pound. And speaking of the Rockers, there's Shawn Michaels weighing in right now as they're checking the scale.
Everybody's seen that match. You can see them weighing in back there. They're not going to look that happy when they get in that battle royal they're putting the money up for. They push, and they push till there's no end. Finally, it came to a conclusion. That match you just seen.
Well,
one good thing, Lance, we get them twice. We get them twice. Not only do we get them in a match, and we're going to beat them in that match, but we get them in the battle royal. More punishment, baby.
So you guys...
You don't double-cross the Nasty Boys. You don't double-cross the Nasty Boys.
I hadn't planned to. With
3 years of friendship, some goof comes up with money all down the tubes. What do you think of that, Lance?
Well, I will reserve my comment. I think you pretty well know that I'm not happy about it coming out here right now. You're a little premature. You're not supposed to be out here again. Mark Goulin.
I couldn't stand it any longer. I cannot stand to hear these men even speak of the world champion tag team. Don't you men even talk about them.
Hey, well,
You shut up, you wimp. Huh? A lot of friendship just because you're money.
Manager, you go through us now, okay?
We come to that money.
3 years of friendship down the tubes for that? What's this money going to do for you 2 years from now when you got no friends, huh?
What is friendship going to do? Is that going to pay the bills? You know, friendship is really nice, but there's a time it's got to step aside. And I'll tell you what, Woody, have you done the same thing for you in our place?
No, I don't think we would have there, Janetti. I saw you
some big fat lies.
You were down. You were down.
Hey, come on, guys. We don't need a fight out here.
It's so funny. We taught these two punks everything. They came off a football field not knowing the first thing about professional wrestling. The Midnight Rockers took them in, and now look at them. They're all painted up and big, mean, and nasty. You guys are the biggest joke in professional wrestling, pal. You are the...
John, hey, come on, Jerry.
Let me tell you something.
Come on, guys. Hey. Come on, Marty.
Hey.
You guys save it for the ring, for crying out loud. Come on, Brian.
Yeah, we'll see you in the ring, huh?
Okay.
He'll be in the ring.
Yeah, you will in the ring. We'll see you in the ring. Oh, my.
Yeah, oh,
They'll see us in the ring.
With that respect, you take somebody and you teach them the way of wrestling. You teach them how to learn, and you do everything for them, and that's the respect they show.
I gather from the closeness here that the deal has been completed with Mark Goulene. Huh?
Lance,
the money was supposed to come up. Did they come up with the money?
the money has exchanged hands. The contracts are signed. I now officially represent the finest tag team in professional wrestling today.
I want to hear it from you guys.
That's right, Lance.
Is this
Don't
really
you worry.
the truth?
It is all, Lance. I'll tell you what, just to show that the Midnight Rockers are top-notch kind of guys, we're going to share the wealth with you, pal, because I tell you what, Lance, I like you a whole lot. I don't like you that much, pal. Give me that back. I'll tell you what, Lance, here's a $10 bill for you, and you buy another one of them snappy suit yours. I'll tell you that much right now. You know something, Lance? Now, stop talking. I know you're always trying to jump in here. It's so funny to me. The Nasty Boys, they come out here all big and mean. We'll see you in the ring. I'll tell you what, the Midnight Rockers, the former world champions, the Southern Tag Team champions, let me tell you what, we're just a shivering in our boots about you two big pukes wanting to beat us up. I'll tell you what, we've gone through every tag team in the world today, and we come out smelling like a rose. And you want to know why? It's because we're #1. You ain't got to like us, but there isn't a tag team in the world that can touch the Midnight Rockers as far as professional wrestling is concerned.
Well, we heard the story. We've seen the fact that you actually sold out to this guy. You took the money and went with him. You made the bed. Now you're going to have to
Why
lay
don't
in
you
it.
paint your face like them painted pansies? Hey, come on out there and see if you get a sideshow in the circus, huh?
You know, talking about laying in beds, that's another thing, the Nasty Boys, I think they're all upset. You know what? The question that keeps coming to Marty and I's mind is, how in the world do the Nasty Boys get any chicks? Well, you want to know how? It was from hanging around these two studs right here. Well, them days are over, boys. You're going to have to pick them up on your own now, and that's a lot of lonely nights.
Okay, you see it. The Midnight Rockers, Mark Goulene, it is official, David. They have signed with him, and they are now represented by Mark Goulene. And, you know, does it sound familiar? Have we seen guys that have taken
Take
that
the
quick,
money.
short path? You remember? Paul Diamond, huh? Talked to him a little later. What happened? It all a falling out. Hey, had second thoughts about it and a lot of other things. We could name a bunch of them that are exactly the same way. Okay, let's get back up into the ring, my boy. We've got some more action. And, oh, boy, looking down at this one, I do not envy David Wilson.
I do not either. David Wilson in the ring right now. Got to admire him for climbing in there because he is going against, out of Amarillo, Texas, 263 pounds worth of Jimmy Jack Funk, and here he comes right now.
Oh, it's one thing to be mean, but when you're mean and you got a couple of screws loose upstairs, it just makes it that much more vicious. Jimmy Jack dumping that rope over the post up there, the one with the bell tied to the end, the referee, Jerry Calhoun. And he jumped him just as we were ringing the bell.
Typical of Jimmy Jack Funk. Didn't even wait for the bell. He just jumped him from behind. David Wilson hit with a clothesline. Yeah, Jimmy Jack Funk. Still wearing those chaps that he wears into the ring. David Wilson. David's out of Arkansas. Jimmy Jack sliding the bottom of the boot off the top of David's head.
Look at that. Picked him up.
Yeah.
Boy, just pounding. Look at him holding him down there. My advice, give it up, David, man. It is not worth it. Because this guy, he is absolutely wild enough. He can hurt you permanently in there in a split second. David weakly put up a leg, but he's no match at all. And it looks like that big power slam from Jimmy Jack Funk. That'll be all of it, too.
Minute 10 seconds of time on it. Jimmy Jack Funk in control before the opening bell started. He seized control and kept it the entire way.
Yes, he did. So an impressive win for Big Jimmy Jack Funk as he went against David Wilson.
Take care of sissies with the Texas Twister. I got one question for everybody out here. Where are all the heroes? Huh? You expect everybody to look up to sissies like Fat Jerry Lawler? Sissy Boy, Jeff Judd, Jeff Travis, Bill Dundee. No! Where I come from, the Funks are heroes. When you hear the name Funk, you listen. I was just talking to my cousin Terry and my cousin Dory, and they told me I'm not getting the respect I deserve. Well, I'll tell you what, every time I get in that ring, from this day forward, I'm gonna hurt somebody. I'm gonna make them respect Jimmy Jack Funk. You hear me?
I hear what you're saying.
Hurt them real bad.
Jimmy Jack Funk, what did he do to David in there if he's going to start hurting somebody? I got to tell you, take time out. Be back in a moment. About wrestling schools, we'd have some information on one. Our buddy Randy Hales went to Bill Dundee's, who has one in Gallatin, Tennessee. Let's listen to Randy as they go through the school, okay?
All right, we've had a lot of opportunities to talk to Superstar Bill Dundee, but this one's a little bit different. We're at his home in Gallatin, Tennessee. And Bill, everybody knows about your wrestling career. Some of the people may not know that you're involved in running a wrestling school. Now, wrestling's hard enough when you just have to worry about yourself, but now you're worried about 10 other guys and trying to train them. What's the reason?
Well, I don't know. It's just like, you know, I've told this part of the story before. When I started, when I was a kid in Australia and I wanted to be a wrestler, there was no such thing as a wrestling school. I used to run around and knock on doors, and everybody would tell me I was too small, and I'd go to the matches and say, well, I'll just wrestle anybody. You know, and it was just, but that doesn't work that way. So I guess it's just like trying to play for the Chicago Bears. You just can't walk up and say, I want to be Jim McMahon. You got to know what you're doing. So a lot of people over the years have asked me and said, Bill, can you teach me to wrestle? Well, for one reason or another, I didn't have no time because it was, you know. So then I got to thinking about it, and for something that's been so good to me over the last umpteen years, I thought, now what can I give back to the sport that I love, and and it's been my life for the last God knows what. So I figured all them kids are asking, so if Bill Dundee can do anything to help them get into the wrestling business or make it easier, I figured, well, I'll just start a wrestling school. So I did that, got involved with the gymnasium side of it, got involved with the wrestling part. I got about 10 kids now, and then they're all athletes in their own right. So on Sundays, like you asked, it's hard. I go up there from about 12 till 5 in the afternoon and teach them to wrestle.
I've heard they're doing real good.
Oh, they're doing real good. And talking about doing real good, you want to go see them?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's see them, right?
We'll go. Okay.
You know, Bill, there's a lot of things that goes with being a professional wrestler, and this is a very, very important part of it. We're in your gym, as a matter of fact, right here in Gallatin.
Yeah, in Gallatin, Tennessee. Now, this is the part that nobody likes to do. I mean, all the football players got to do it. Jim McMahon got to do it. Even the refrigerators got to do it. You got to come to this gym. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. It does, whatever gym, whatever you are, or whatever you want to do, professional sport, you got to come work out. Now, this is the hard part. I mean, we have a lot of fun wrestling. We have a lot of fun driving up and down the road, but this is the hard part. And everybody, your little kids in the backyard, go try to wrestle one another. But professional, hang on here. Timmy.
He went for a hip toss, and Bill, let's see if we can hear Bill describe.
When the guy, here, buddy, break your leg if you let you go. Get your butt up under here. When you bring him out, see, you did it with your leg. If your leg goes out, you knock that thing out, brother. You go get that butt up under here. So when you
Bill describing how to do a hip toss.
That's right. See, either you do it with your leg, you can push the cartilage out of your leg or anything. That's what Timmy did right there. So, like I said.
So that's one thing you do. You watch them, supervise them in the first place.
Teach them right. Like everything else. You go learn to swim. That's there he got his butt. He was on balance, and that was it. Now, if anybody's interested, just give the Superstar a call, and the number is, if it's out of town, area code 615-452-9464. And I'll be sitting right here at this gym, and I'll answer you, and I personally teach you. So if you're interested in being a wrestler, just give us a call. And like I said, I'm just trying to give back something to the sport. It's been good to me for the last few years. And like I said, I'm just trying to make it easy.
Yeah, super job, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Billy, let me say this. I've had a lot of people, Dave and I were talking about, we get all the time people asking about, how I can get into wrestling. And what I've told them, I didn't have the number and all. If they want to take a little longer, they could write to the individual station in their area to Bill Dundee Wrestling School in care of the station, and it will be forwarded to you. That's the only way I knew to tell them.
Yeah, no, that's about how it is, and it's just like I explained it on the tape, so we're not going to go all over that again. I'm just trying to give back to something that's been nice to me, you know. And people, every day somebody will ask you, the last Dave or Jerry Lawler or somebody in the wrestling business, how do I get in? Well, that's how you get in, brother. I don't know, it's just a kind of a hobby I like to do.
And maybe, friends, you can turn out some guys that know about wrestling and some of these street brawlers that we have out there.
I do, and like I said, it's no piece of cake. I got a friend of mine sitting home right now that goes to that school, Barry Davis. He hurt his leg. He'll be back in a month, so everybody gets hurt. Now, but they got me booked with an idiot now, not no wrestler. They got me booked with T. Joe Kine, so everything you'll end of it.
Oh, my God. Hey, come on. Can't you wait till somebody's through? You come out here, it's the second time you've...
How dare you perpetrate a fraud on the American people, telling them you're a wrestling instructor? You look something like some sort of a dime store, a hillbilly singer than you do a professional wrestling teacher.
Lance, ever since this idiot showed up here, I've been trying to figure out the accent, because I got an accent. I'm from the other side of the world. But I believe you invented that, Gulene. I believe you invented the name and all the money you're supposed to have. I don't like you, Peter Lawley of the wrestling business, so get off my interview time, punk.
I tell you what, you want to learn something about wrestling, you get in the ring with my man, T. Joe Khan, who's learned from the best, the House of Gulene. And don't you
I'm going to show you who the fraud is around here, idiot, because I'm going to get up here and wrestle this clown, and maybe you'll leave and take them stupid rockers with you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful nothing. Just watch this, big boy.
I'll tell you one thing. Oh, yeah, jumping from behind in there. Bill Dundee going to go in the ring. I tell you, when you throw a challenge out to this guy, he's going to take it up. Gulene hits him before he ever gets in the ring. And then T. Joe Khan catches him while he's still not ready in there. Never gave him a break going in the ring. As T. Joe Khan nailing Bill Dundee. We had a match scheduled coming up.
He wanted a wrestling lesson. We'll give him one he'll never forget. He may never recover from this lesson.
Yeah, I noticed you had to hit him from behind before he ever got inside the ring, as T. Joe Khan with a chokehold right now. We need somebody to come out. This isn't wrestling. He's going out there.
Ping pong. This is wrestling. This is a rough
choking him in there. That's not wrestling. Hey, come on now. You're carrying it beyond. We need a little help in here. Yeah, I need some Hector Guerrero. What? Hey, get up there. He's choking him. For crying out loud. Boy, you're great help. T. Joe is choking on him. Yeah, break him up. Get him off his throat, Hector. Well, Hector Guerrero at least served the purpose to get T. Joe Khan back off. And Hector, for that we thank you in there for stepping in and interrupting when the guy was choking. Dundee is about out of it right now. Oh, yeah, I might have known. Now T. Joe Khan and Hector Guerrero on Dundee. Here comes Billy Travis, John Paul, Jerry Sagg, Eddie Crawford. And they finally get, oh, you're a lot of help, Hector. Fine, you're a lot of help.
Yeah. He needed a little help. You know, he needed a little help just about all these people that hang around here. They look kind of what I got here in my hand.
Yeah, I see. Bill being helped out of the ring after being, the first thing that happened is Gulene hit him before he ever got into the ring. And then T. Joe Khan, when Bill turned around, T. Joe Khan got him from behind and trying to choke him to death in there. Hector Guerrero comes out, yeah, I'm going to help. And what's he do?
I'm kind of just like all you people out here. Hey, do I look a little bit familiar? Does my leg look a little bit of a redneck condition? Let me tell you what causes that. You know what causes that? Let me take one here. This is one of these natives hanging around these parts. You know what happens? Their brain gets so swollen because they got so much ignorance in their brain that the brain swells and it prevents from all the blood to going up. And that's when you get this red condition of the neck. That's what happens. You people remember that because here is the best, and that is the Mexican. You remember that.
More advice from the Mexican Connection, Hector Guerrero. Dave, we got a match coming up.
Yeah, we do. The Mexican Connection's Hector Guerrero jumps in there and grabs Ken Rayford just before the bell sounds. Hector out here running his mouth and interfering in the guise of helping to break up an altercation between Bill Dundee and T.J. Khan. Hector now in the match officially against Ken Raper. Well, he picked him straight up in the air and suplexed him. Guerrero dropping down with the upper arm. There's cover. Count is at 1, 2. Ken Raper able to break out of it at the 2 count. He's still alive against Hector. Hector out of Mexico City. Ken Raper out of Memphis. Back on the ropes, Ken Raper. Boy, look at that. Hector threw him halfway across the ring.
He caught him with that forearm uppercut. Look at here. Has he got him?
Well, he's got the shoulders down now. Count at 2 and 3. That's it. 1:04. Hector Guerrero takes the measure of Ken Raper here in a 1-fall 10-minute time limit match. So it didn't take Hector long once he jumped in the ring.
Okay.
That'll happen. Anybody gets in the ring with me. And all you chicken kids, you remember, that's what you look like, and this is what you are. A chicken.
Okay, let's take a break. We got more action coming up. We're going to be back to it in just a moment.
Oh, in case you just tuned in, my friend, what I'm talking about is $5 and $3. That's right. Wednesday, Coliseum, special prices. And boy, what a special night of action. $1 per pound battle royal. Jeff will be going against Manny Fernandez. Bill Dundee, special match with T.J. Khan. I know the man does not like to get jumped from behind.
That's right, Lance. Nobody likes to be that. Well, I'm just going to tell you something, Mark Deline. There's going to be one guy short in that battle royal, because if you've got that idiot I plane tackling him out long before we get into the battle royal. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, my T.J. Khan's 6 foot tall and 260 pounds, and he's only 5'7" and 218 pounds. Well, that don't matter, brother, because you like to quote things from books, and if you ever read the first book that somebody ever wrote, there was a guy 7 feet tall and a guy 5'7", and little David won that one, and little Billy plans on winning this one. Oh, I'm not saying he ain't tough. I'm not saying he ain't bad. The thing that you overlooked is the superstar stuff, and he's bad, and I'm going to prove it to you and that idiot Wednesday night right there at 400 Court Street, which is the Coliseum, and I'll see you there, punk, and I'm taking your Chinaman out.
Ooh, I got a feeling that's going to be a scrap and a half, but that's just one of them. Remember, Battle Royal $1 per pound is worth $8,130 to the guy that wins it, and that is going to bring out the best or the worst in everybody that's in there. They'd love to have that as a special Christmas bonus. All in all, looks like a big, big night coming up Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. Make your plans to be there.
Okay, we got a tag match. We can get them out here and let's get going on this thing. Let's get the tag out here. We're out of time. You know, we ended up with about 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll only get this Midnight Rockers and Billy Travis, John Paul match on. Okay, here come the AWA Southern Tag Team Champions. This is their first official appearance of the Midnight Rockers with Mark Boulin. And Dave, how about the officials?
All right, it's going to be the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, going against the team of Billy Travis and John Paul. This is going to be an expiration of time match, and unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of time left. But we'll get it going and see if we can get one, maybe 2 falls, certainly 1 fall in as we get this one underway. Referee Jerry Calhoun, we await the signal. Billy Travis over to try to shake hands with Marty Jannetty. Jannetty just turned and walked away from him. Jannetty and Michaels have had certainly a change of attitude in the last 6-7 days as they have signed on with Mark Boulin, who is in their corner.
Well, I go back, Dave, and we look at the situation. You remember both Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond, when they associated with Downtown Bruno, what happened to them. John Paul, Marty Jannetty starting out in there, I would simply say the fact that they have a new association doesn't diminish the ability of these guys. We have said in every way we can, they're as good as anybody that we've ever seen step in the ring, the Midnight Rockers. But
there's a lot that can happen when you start looking only at the dollar and you don't see what's behind. I don't know how else to say it. I'm sure there's a better way than that. Giannetti with John Paul with a front face lock in there. Travis and Paul, while nowhere near the reputation that the Midnight Rockers have, they're a couple of very capable young guys themselves, Davey.
Oh, you're right, John Paul. Oh. Took a shot right there from Marty Jannetty, though. And he pops him again. John Paul out of Minneapolis. Oh, he's having his hair pulled. And look at Gullin from outside. Mark Gullin slapped him.
Yeah, he's got no business doing that, Jerry.
No. Yeah, the referee knows something happened, but he didn't see exactly what. So. There's a tag made by John Paul. Billy Travis comes in to do battle with Shawn Michaels. Billy reverses him into the ropes, leaps over.
Oh,
Michaels blocked him. Yeah. Shows some strength there. Ooh. Hey, Billy Travis stayed with him. Look at that. There goes Jannetty. There goes Michaels. And the two guys who are known for their air acrobatics find themselves flying through the air, put there by Billy Travis. So they were being controlled rather than controlling. Michael's not happy about it.
No, I think what they think is that they got a patent and a copyright on all those kind of moves. Let me tell you, they're wrong. There are a lot of guys in there that got good moves.
Shawn Michaels making the tag on his partner, Marty Jannetty. John Paul sent him to the ropes. They double up on him with a boot as he comes off of there. Snap him down. Leave him laying on the mat. There's a cover by Jannetty. The referee's over talking to Billy Travis. He's got a count of 2 and 3. This fall is history. 2 minutes, 57 seconds. And the win goes to Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Okay, Michaels and Jannetty come through in this fall. We're going to have to check our time and see how much time we left for any further action in this expiration of time match. But no question about it, Jannetty and Michaels come up with that one. They didn't do it easy, and we haven't seen the last of that action in a moment. We're going to take time out. We'll be back in just one moment. At the new team of the Bruise Brothers, Ron and Don, the Blue Jean Bruise Brothers. They are sponsored, as I think we indicated earlier in the program, by the great singing group Sawyer Brown. We got some comments from Mark Miller and Hobie, I think, about it. So let's take a listen and see what this interview is.
Well, don't say take it easy, baby, we're not through. I'm talking bam, boom. Well, don't go telling, don't go ratting. Hey, baby, we're out going catting. Juke joint jamming, tit for tat. Mama, don't wait up. We're out going catting. Ooh, yeah. Out going catting. Oh, yeah. Out going catting.
We're real excited because we're here to tell you about a couple new wrestlers that we're going to be, I guess, introducing to the Mid-South area. They actually had their first wrestling match in Memphis last week, and they wrestled a couple guys that hit Donnie with brass knuckles.
Yeah, they were real excited. They've wrestled a lot in Florida, but this was their first Mid-South appearance. They were excited about coming and wrestling, and then this incident happened with brass knuckles with the rock and roll RPMs. And yeah, that was a little disappointing because we know wrestling fans want to see wrestling, not street brawling. So it was kind of a surprise, but these guys, they're back in Florida training. They'll come back this week and be ready to wrestle here again.
And they're here to stay. I mean, they're coming to the Mid-South Mid-South.
This is where you'll see them.
They're an exciting couple of guys. They're identical twins. They're 6'7". They're great athletes, and they're going to win some. They're going to lose some, but we're going to be right there with them all the way, and we want the fans to be out there supporting these guys because they're true wrestlers, and they come to wrestle, and they're athletes, and I think it's exciting to watch professional athletes in action, and I don't understand this brutality
we don't know what happened the other night in Memphis, but these guys are here to wrestle, and we know that's what you guys are here to watch.
And we are going to be ringside from time to time throughout their career. I mean, we're going to be behind these guys all the way. So we want to invite all the wrestling fans to come out in the Mid-South area and watch the Blue Denim Bruise Brothers, and Sawyer Brown's going to be right there in their corner all the way.
We'll see you ringside.
Okay, there you hear it, Mark and Hobie, and here they come right now. What am I looking around? You can see these guys anywhere. Ron and Don. Now you gotta help me one more time. Ron? Okay, and this is Don. How you doing, partner? Ron and Don Bruise, and it's very exciting. We were glad to see you guys in there. And I just want to make a comment about the match you had with the RPMs. Did it kind of surprise you that they don't have much respect for the rules and the way they bent them and just flagrantly violated the rules? Did that surprise you guys?
Yeah, it did. We went in there just to have a good, straight-up match, and they pulled something out of their tights, and it did surprise me. I wasn't expecting it.
Hey, can I tell you, it won't be the last time, and I hope every time you're going to be a little more ready for that kind of action, because you're going to be seen. Listen, you guys went to school with, what, Mark and Hobie? Was that the idea, or Mark, or who?
Yes, we sure did. It's a little town called Apopka, right outside of Orlando, Florida. We went to high school with both of them.
What is this story that I heard Mark saying about you guys throwing the whole senior class out about the way? And the principal, is there any truth to that, Don?
No truth at all.
No truth to it? Well, how do you feel about it now that you're into professional wrestling and off on your career? Are you looking forward to it? Is it any different than what you thought, or what?
Yeah, we're very much excited about it. We're having a good time. There's a lot of, you see a lot of these guys out here talking about what they're going to do, how bad they are, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we're new in professional wrestling, and we're just looking to do the best we can every time we go out here. And hopefully the crowd will get behind us.
Hey, I got to say one thing. You have got one ingredient that over the years that Dave and I have been doing wrestling commentary is invaluable, and that is you're both athletes. Now, boy, let me tell you, that will carry you a long way. That won't carry you all the way. It takes determination, a lot of the other things that I'm sure you've heard about. But son of a gun, you got a lot of it going, and we're going to wish you the best of luck, and we'll be looking forward to seeing Sawyer Brown when they can come down in your corner in there, and good luck to you. Don, Ron, the Bruise Brothers, and we'll be looking forward to having them back from time to time, as they're a couple of real nice young guys, and boy, big. They're very big.
Good size, I tell you.
Total weight over 500 pounds. They go about 501 for the pair of them, Davey.
And like you say, the athletic ability should put them in good stead when they step into that ring. Hey, we had a lot of action going on here today on Championship Wrestling. We had Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull, in here. It was all Manny as he was going against Mr. Class. Ricky Fontana said Mr. Class on the back of his wrestling tights. Yep. Manny Fernandez got the victory in that one. Then it was Jeff Jarrett and the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sag, as they teamed up in a six-man tag team match against the team of the Executioners with Nate the Rat, Nathaniel Whitlock in their corner, and Keith Robertson. Keith Robertson has allied himself on several occasions with folks like the Executioners. They made for a rugged tag team, but the team of Jeff Jarrett and the Nasty Boys did, in fact, come out with a victory, a little over 3.5 minutes at the time, and it was Jeff that got the pin with a fine, fine drop kick that he put on Keith Robertson to wrap it up.
Yeah, you might say they came out of the pile, too, because there were a pile of guys in the ring when he was able to execute that drop kick and pound them on down. We got a total of, in case you missed it, we opened up talking about the $1 a pound battle royal that's coming up, and we got the total on it. The guys, total guys, to repeat it, weighed in at 4,126 pounds. So that means 4,126 bucks that the wrestlers had to put up. And then the promotion matches the amount that the guys had to put up, and it comes to a total of 8,250 bucks. So, friend, that is a lot of money for some one person to win in that dollar a pound battle royal. David, we have done it again.
We're out of time.
Out of time. What can I say? Thank goodness we'll have some more next week, and hope you'll take advantage of joining us for it. Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of Championship Wrestling.